From fighting on diamonds in baseball to competing on mixed martial arts' biggest stage, Waldo Cortes-Acosta is a massive heavyweight with a boxing background and 4 knockouts on his MMA record. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from one of the best nicknames in sport, Salsa Boy Waldo Cortes-Acosta.
Oh, Till's out! It's over!
It's over!
That's what I'm saying, boy! Oh! He got dropped! It's over! Munoz! Oh my God!
Coming from the Dominican Republic, Cortes would have an amateur mixed martial arts career, finishing 5 opponents and losing 1 fight via unanimous decision. His first taste of pro combat, however, would not come in mixed martial arts. It would be in boxing. He would compete for a couple of years there. He went 6-4 and competed for some of the most major organizations in the world, like Top Rank Boxing. He wrapped up this brief career in early 2021, and now after boxing, he would commit fully to pro mixed martial arts and arguably have his most success. His first professional bout would surprisingly end via first-round Kimura. His opponent, recognizing Waldo's threat on the feet coming from the boxing background, he would chase takedowns, but Waldo would welcome the attempt and find an opponent's arm before snapping it and leaving the arm in complete shambles. Having to quickly make an impact starting in pro MMA later than usual, having baseball in his background and boxing, Waldo followed up his pro debut with back-to-back decision wins, and it was against opponents who had a combined record of 33 pro fight experience. These wins would quickly lead Costa into the LFA for a championship run at heavyweight. His first opponent would be Derrick Weaver at Arizona Federal Theater, and the first round would be a complete battle for position and earn himself a title fight for his next fight against Thomas Peterson. Peterson, 4-0 in the LFA, was coming off huge back-to-back finish wins, and his most recent fight was a win for the heavyweight title against Vernon Lewis, where he finished him via ground and pound. And this would match up with Waldo Cortes-Acosta in front of Thomas's hometown crowd in Minnesota. The hostile crowd would make itself heard immediately. For Acosta's walkout, he was being booed out of the building. Peterson would use his wrestling early. Waldo's chin and power, as we know, is dangerous, and Thomas had great success wrestling opponents in his previous fights. Waldo would work back to his feet, and you could see that there was bad intention when both fighters were trying to land huge combinations in striking exchanges, and another late round takedown at the end of the first round, followed with some serious ground and pound. It would earn Peterson the first round. The second round would consist of more striking than grappling, but increased sloppiness with both fighters starting to wear the in-cage activity. Peterson would land more points with a takedown just after the midpoint of the round, but Waldo would show more impressive ability to get back to his feet, and Waldo was starting to gain confidence, dancing and showboating through this round. The third round was again the same, with Peterson continuing to punch himself into the clinch and Acosta landing a big shot periodically, but again, there were no takedowns in this round, and with the fight approaching a decision where most likely Thomas Peterson would have taken the result, a 2-punch left hook right straight combination would absolutely sting the champion and stumble him back to the fence, and then an explosive follow-up would force the referee to step in and award Waldo Cortes-Acosta the new LFA Heavyweight Champion. This was an awesome fight and a great headliner for the LFA, and the fight would give Waldo Cortes-Acosta the hardware and an impressive performance that would get him onto the Contender Series literally immediately. Following the fight, the president of the LFA would come on and announce that Waldo Cortes-Acosta was set for the Contender Series in August. Cortes-Acosta would be brought in to take on Danilo Stuzart in a matchup of power punchers. Danilo marched forward early, throwing looping overhands, while Waldo used his length, loving his jab from that boxing background, and he started to string together combinations of 2 and 3 out of that jab later into the first round. As Acosta started to feel Danilo's power and he ate a couple shots right on the chin, his confidence grew a little bit, and Waldo would flip the aggression, punching himself into the clinch and moving forward. And on exits from clinches, he would throw his heaviest strikes. And at 128 of the first round, he'd put Danilo down and finish him against the fence, earning the contract in a less deep heavyweight division via first-round knockout. Waldo's official UFC debut would come against Vanderaa, and he'd win a 3-round unanimous decision and follow that up with another decision win against Sherman, landing a pretty unprecedented 147 significant strikes over the 15 minutes for the heavyweight division, with nearly 120 significant strikes coming in the final 2 frames. Still undefeated now at 9-0 with 2 straight in the premier organization in the world. His next matchup would be against a veteran of the UFC octagon, Marcos Rogerio De Lima. Fighting in the UFC organization since 2011 and seeing many changes in his UFC career, De Lima was coming off a quick submission of Andrei Arlovski and looking to ride the momentum and build a consecutive win streak. This experience gap would see De Lima enter as a near 2-1 favorite. And the creativity and experience ended up being the difference on the night. Doing an exceptional job mixing in takedowns and leg kicks, Marcos was able to overcome a slight significant strike advantage going to Waldo and earn a 29-28 unanimous decision. For Waldo Cortes-Acosta, the fight served as a learning experience against an extremely experienced heavyweight, suffering his first career defeat, but by no means was the matchup a blowout. And some could argue in an alternate universe with the significant strike advantage, Waldo could have squeaked out with the result in this contest. Again, total and significant strikes in his favor, but nonetheless, Waldo would be back in the octagon 4 months later as a favorite against Łukasz Brzeski, and the contest would serve as a statement win for Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Brzeski, following in the Rogério game plan, landing 10 leg kicks in the opening minutes of the first round, Waldo would land his most significant knockout in his career, landing his first big shot by catching a body kick of Brzeski. He would finish his opponent in the first round. With a UFC crowd in attendance, Waldo was hyped by the finish, and the inside right hand was a perfect shot that turned all function off in his opponent, earning his first official UFC knockout, and in what was probably his most impressive performance to date, whether regionally or in the UFC. Now, Waldo Cortes-Acosta is set to continue his heavyweight streak against an opponent this weekend. Let me know what you guys think of Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Can he make it to the top of the heavyweight division? How much do you think his skills will continue to increase with his boxing background and his significant knockout power? But that'll do it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, remember to smash that like button and subscribe to Combat Sports Central, and I will see you in the next one.